Hey everyone, my name is Beau Martonik with the East Meets West Hunt podcast, and I want to talk to you a little bit today about fitness when it comes to preparing for a Western hunt. And this is more focused on those that are coming from the East and the Midwest, but can really be applied anywhere with the concepts of it. So one of the things that I feel like is a debated topic that goes back and forth between different hunters is, do you need to be in good shape to hunt the mountains of the West? And my answer to that would be no, you don't. You don't need to be in great shape to do that. But I think that there's never been a time when I've been in the mountains that I've wished I was in worse shape. I think you can get lucky, you can get out and kill a bull a few hundred yards from the truck, or you might just be that tough that you can mentally grind it through. Those are all very possible situations, but I think if you want to really increase your odds and you want to become the best hunter that you possibly can, I think a big component of that is being in good physical shape and being able to grind it out. I'll give you a little bit of a story to start this off with. My first hunt out west was in 2016. So I went to Colorado and I read Cameron Haynes' book, Backcountry Bow Hunting, and he talked about going to the deepest, steepest, furthest points from the road. You had a backpack in, do all this stuff. So I listened to him, found this nasty unit in Colorado. Well, when I got there, everything was way bigger than I could have ever expected. I thought I was in good physical shape. I was definitely not at the point where I needed to be. When I was driving out there, it was myself, my cousin Mason, and my brother Kurt. We got to this rest stop just outside of Denver, Colorado, and I walked into the rest stop. It was probably about, 9,000 feet or so of elevation. And I walked into it and I could barely breathe while I was walking. And that thin air, the altitude screwed with me pretty good. So I was like, I can't imagine what we're in for at that point. So once we got in there and started hiking in the mountains, we realized these places that we wanted to go to, we're gonna glass off that point. We're gonna hit this ridge in the morning, over here in the evening. Our plan completely fell apart. And I didn't think I was in bad shape, but I was not in the shape I needed to be specifically for hunting the mountains. And that was the first kind of case study or story that I had that led me to realize that that's what I needed to do, is focus on that if I really wanted to become better. Because, okay, so even though our physical limitations or our physical abilities were limited a little bit by our fitness, we were able to grind it out pretty good. We were able to hike, from the Appalachian Mountains. We still had some of that in us, but it took a toll on us mentally. It took a toll on us, obviously physically, but it made it easier to want to go back to the truck and be done. So after that trip, like I said, I vowed I wouldn't be in that position again. One of the things that I think hunting in the backcountry and being in good shape have in common. So if you go into it feeling good about your physical conditioning and you have a level of confidence, whether that's false confidence or that's confidence that is justified, it makes a lot more sense in your head. You're able to convince yourself, and I'm a big believer, and if you can see something and you believe in it, then it'll happen. And for me, that's one of those things, that confidence that you build up, that also builds up mental strength. So when you're used to doing difficult workouts or working out every day, maybe the difficult part of it is just getting up early and doing it. By doing that all the time, you're almost building a callus over your mind. You're building it, you're toughening it up, you're making it difficult, you're making it so when you want to quit, when you're in the backcountry, you don't, because you didn't quit in the months and time leading up to it while you were working out, while you were staying disciplined. And I think that's such a big component of it. And for me personally, that's been probably the biggest benefit that I've seen. So, you know, the way I just talked about that made it seem so hardcore, and you gotta be in excellent shape. And like I said, I think being in the best shape you can possibly be for your own abilities is super important, no doubt. But I also think that if you just do something to become better than you are yesterday with it, then you're improving, you're doing better. You'll figure it out. If you're going out for the first time, it won't take you long to figure out if you need to improve on your fitness or not for the next time. And I promise you, if it's your first time going out west elk hunting or whatever, even if you get your ass kicked the first time out, you're gonna come back and want to do it again. I remember I wanted to quit so bad on that first hunt. I was just like, this sucks. Like, I'm wore out, having trouble finding elk, the whole bit. And by the time I got in a truck and started driving home, 3 hours in the drive was just talking about next year and getting back to it. I don't know why that is, but it seems to be the case. When it comes to getting in the best physical conditioning that you can to go out west, so there's some key muscle groups that I'm going to talk about and that I think are a huge focus. So number one are your legs. Your legs, these are your wheels that are underneath you. You don't go anywhere without your legs. So that's one of them. The next one I would say would be your back. And your back, that's what you're carrying all your weight on. You're carrying your backpack, hopefully carrying out meat at the end. You're always going. But one I say is almost equally as important as your core. And the reason why your core is, that's kind of acting as that equilibrium to your back, being able to keep that strong while you're walking on the side hill, so you keep your balance, you keep stiff. Your core is really important to have that. It takes a lot of strain off of your back. And then lastly, shoulders. I think shoulders are a big deal for carrying things, for being able to pick up meat, for being able to climb, for being able to do just about anything. I think that those four muscle groups are the biggest ones that I feel are important for me personally. Everyone's gonna have their own opinion, but I think it's kind of tough to argue those points. When it comes to the cardio side of things, there's the cardio and you got the strength side of it. Where's that balance? I think you need to have strength, and I feel like having strength helps you for things like packing out meat, like carrying it heavy backpack all day, carrying your bow around all day, just being able to have some structure to you there. But I also think endurance is extremely important as well, and cardio. So there's a couple different portions of it that I think will be important. So I've heard some people say, if you could just go out and you walk with a pack on every day or 3 times a week, whatever it is, to get in shape, that is super helpful. You're hiking a lot, and I think that's a very important component. You can run, you can hike, do all those things. I think that's helpful. But one of the things that I've learned, especially when it comes to hunting elk, is if you hear a bugle across there and they're moving up to this bedding area and you gotta try to cut them off or do something, there's a lot of portions where you gotta make quick moves, and so you're almost like doing short sprints, short things where you're getting your heart rate up and you're moving quickly, and then you stop and you have to try to calm yourself. Say you got in a position for a shot, you gotta calm yourself. And so that's a whole different type of thing to think about, that when you create your workout plan or your routine, that you need to have those things in mind, that you have some of that, I guess it would be the fast twitch type stuff, as well as the sustained cardio. So I've talked about the reasoning behind why I think it's important to be in good physical conditioning, and the why behind the muscle groups and the types of fitness you can be in. So now it comes down to the how. So how are you going to do this? What are some things that you can do to be in shape? So I had mentioned about hiking with a pack on. So you can't get better training for hiking than hiking. And the problem that I see with that is mostly the fact of time. I don't have time to hike 2 hours a day with my pack on, with my boots on, everything. I might be able to do that once a week, say on the weekend. That's an awesome time to be able to do that. Get up early in the morning, go for a hike with weight in your pack. I usually typically take a sandbag, and I make the sandbag, so I'll take a dry bags that I would buy off Amazon. I'll fill it with 50 pounds of play sand and put that in my pack to mimic what it would be like for backpack hunting, and walk around with that. Well, that's one thing that you can do, is the actual hiking portion. And then another portion to it is, like I said, you're trying to build on these legs. The legs are the motor that's keeping you going. Those are the tires, I guess, that are on your vehicle to be able to go. So another good workout is, like, with that pack, is doing step ups. So I built a box that's about I think it's 18 inches tall, and then I can step up on, step down, step up on, step down, and be able to do that to build, because you're always going up or down in the mountains. So that's a really helpful thing. So I'm giving you right now some examples that include using your pack, your boots, things that you want to get used to. You want to make those things a part of you before you kind of go out. So those are some workouts that can be done with minimal equipment, and to be able to do that. But just doing those types of things will help you, but I don't think that's an all-around approach to it. I think that you need to incorporate some different things that are into that mixture. And what I mean by that is, there's, like I said, you got cardio, you got strength, and you can break down that cardio into two different categories of where you need to be able to have almost that fast twitch, where you need to be able to move quickly and then catch your breath fast, and move quickly, but also the endurance to last the full day of hiking. So a bunch of different things, and you have to gear kind of your workouts towards whatever goal you have there. So before I get into the program that I use in the workout program that I like to use every single morning as I'm getting ready for a hunt, is I'd like to say that mental toughness is what separates the good hunters from the great hunters. And what I mean by that is, through my podcast, I've interviewed hundreds of guests and talked to the top tier people that are out there. And what I've learned from them is all of them are ones that just don't quit. A lot of them are killing the best bulls or bucks on the last couple days of the hunt, maybe down to the last couple hours. And they're doing that not because that they're really any better. Yes, maybe they've been doing it longer, have some skill there, but a lot of times it comes down to persistence and being out there. And to do that, you need to be mentally tough, because when you're not seeing elk for 5 days, it makes you want to go home, but you got to keep going. You got to move on to the next spot. You got to do something. And I think having your body in the right place builds your mind up to a point where you can become mentally tough, and you can do that and in result become more successful. So that leads me into the program that I use, which is the Mountaintop Program. I've been using the Mountaintop Program for 3 years now. It is by far the most comprehensive, I guess, online course or programs that I've ever been a part of or looked at. It's what Mountaintop is they have a bunch of different programs depending on what you want to do. They have the two that I use are the postseason program, which you start like in January, goes through April, and then I had the preseason program that goes from May through end of August. And these programs are built around making you the best backcountry hunter you could possibly be. These programs are tested throughout tons of different hunters, and they develop those courses for that specific reason. They also have a no year list. So like right now, with a lot of things going on, in the world with gyms being shut down. You can do things from home that are going to help you. That all these different things are inside of this program, and I'm saying that because it's worked for me. When I first did the Mountaintop Program in 2019 was the year I killed my bull elk in Idaho. It's actually the one that you see here behind me. That hunt, I went into it extremely confident. When we hiked up in the morning, Justin and I got up, I think it was 4 in the morning or so, and we had a 2-hour hike of straight, vertical climb up these avalanche chutes to get up 2,500 feet elevation gain up to that meadow before dark, before it got light. And we were able to do that, and I was able to get up there, and I felt good. I felt motivated to do that, and I felt like I had never been in that place, in prior years. And I really think this program helped me out a lot. So the program's all on your phone. So I'm able to pull up the app. There's a video at the beginning explaining all the workouts that you get to do for the day, showing you exactly how to do it, how to use the form, giving you some guidance with time. And what the cool part about it is, it's almost like going to a class or like a workout session without actually being there. There's a community of people are commenting below, talking about their times, their weights, what they struggle with, what they did good with. There's interaction, there's community involved, and I think that's what's really cool and what separates it. Because one of the things is it's not a cheap program, but you get lifetime access to it. And the reason why I personally bought it because I knew that if I spent money on something, I'm going to stick to it. If you just say you're going to work out every day, what's going to stop you from not doing it? Whereas something like this program is able to hold you in it. And I'm not sitting here talking about Mountaintop to make it a sales pitch. Not anything. I have no affiliation with the company other than just getting to know them from interviewing them after buying the program and being a part of it. But it's just helped me out so much that I think that I wanted to pass on that words. But what it is, it's combining a lot of full body movements, using all of your muscles, building in cardio and strength into all the workouts together, getting your heart rate up, making it difficult. And some of the workouts are designed literally to create mind games with you, but it is really a great program to be able to use and help you out west. So the next thing is, when should you start? All right, you wanna get in shape. Is it too late? Is it too early? The best thing is start now. I mean, it doesn't matter beginning of the week, if it's the end of the week, whatever, start now. For me, I like to get my workouts done first thing in the morning before work. And the reasoning for that is because if I wait till after work, I can come up with a lot of excuses why not to do that. But if I get up at 4:30 in the morning and get it done, get it out of the way, it resets, it gets me going, gets me up, gets me moving in the morning. I feel better at work. It gets my day started the right way. So I like to do it in the mornings. You can kind of figure out what time you want to do it. But the biggest thing is the consistency portion. So I'm not saying, I'm talking about these mountain tough workouts and how difficult they can be and all this stuff. That all depends on your physical level, how you're getting into it. The biggest thing is to do something. Whether that's, okay, say you haven't done really anything. You've been sitting on your couch all winter watching Netflix and just walking a 1/4 mile a day. Start with that for 5 days or a week. And then up it to 3/4 mile, then up it to a mile. The biggest thing is not to get overwhelmed by all of the things you think you should be doing, or looking at what I'm doing or what somebody else is doing. The biggest thing is to do something and do it consistently, stay disciplined with it, and you will get better. If you're better than you were yesterday, that's all you can do, and keep working towards it. You'll eventually, if you create that habit of wanting to do it, and you start slowly seeing some progression, you're gonna want to keep doing it. It's the way it naturally is. But you've got to make it so you want to do it. You've got to make it so that you create that habit. If you make it too hard on yourself up front, you're gonna quit, and that's not doing anybody any good. To bring this back around, what I would say is find something that works for you, get moving, and focus on those core components: your legs, your back, your core, your shoulders. Get some cardio in, get some strength in, do different things, gauge it to yourself and figure out what works for you to do better. The last point that I'll say with this is, once you're doing this, say you've been working out every morning for 3 months straight, you're feeling pretty good. One thing you should do is start to test yourself a little bit. Say you're doing some moderate stuff, you're building up confidence. Well, let's say Saturday morning, you're gonna try to break yourself down a little bit. Throw a bunch of weight in your pack, say 50 pounds in your pack, 60 pounds in your pack, and hike as far as you can. Or I don't know, go out, do a backpacking overnight, sleep in a tent somewhere, test out your gear, test out everything with it. Try to put yourself in an uncomfortable scenario and see how you react. That'll kind of gauge you to see where you need to work closer to the season. So by testing those things periodically, you can eventually, by putting yourself in those real world situations where you're struggling a little bit and it's mentally tough, you're only giving yourself it's almost like taking an exam. So say you have an exam at the end of the semester. That kind of shows you, okay, when you go in the next semester, I need to improve on something, or going through it. Or maybe even a better example would be is taking a test, and you'll have another test before you have the final, which is 3 tests later, and you can continue to improve and work on those things and go through it. So that's my take on fitness in the backcountry for us Eastern guys and girls. We're not as lucky to be able to go out and hike up big mountains every day. Some of us do live in the Appalachian region, and we have some of that, but we need to use the gym, we need to use walking outside, we need to do some other things to do that, because we don't live in the Rocky Mountains. So biggest thing is do something, get out there, stay motivated, and just go hunt. Well, thank you for listening to this, and I hope that you got some useful information. If you have any more questions for me personally, you can answer them. You can leave some comments, or send me an email, send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, email, whatever you would like, and I appreciate it.